Hello, welcome to Sorted. Now today we are revisiting an ultimate battle from 3 years ago where our home cooks, Jamie, Mike and Barry, each went head to head to create an ultimate lava cake. But I'm going to be honest with you, it was messy, it was childish, and the results were far from perfect. So let's see if they have been able to improve. Boys, attention to detail, timing is critical. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I'm ready.
You can start baking in 3, 2, 1, lava!
Okay, first thing I'm going to do is preheat a baking tray. Now Ebbers, obviously I'm sticking with the citrus theme of my previous lava cake, but shock, I'm using yuzu, my favourite of all the Japanese fruits. And so I'm making a yuzu and matcha lava cake filled with lemon curd. Start off by making the curd. Here I've got sugar, I'm going to zest in some lemons. I'm adding yuzu juice.
Now last time it was kaffir lime and lemongrass.
Yes, to be perfectly honest, didn't really feel like you got the benefit of those additional flavours last time. So what I'm doing is going with a stronger main flavour and making the whole process a little bit simpler. However, having seen what the other guys are doing, I now feel like I'm doing too much.
So last time around, I attempted to make a s'mores lava cake and I failed miserably. So this time I've simplified my cake. I'm using hacks and I'm gonna have a lot more confidence than I had last time.
Now, was it because it's stuck? Because the first thing you've done is grease your moulds. Greasing your mould is important.
Yes, greasing the mould is important. It's so important, I'm going to do it twice. Butter all around the edge, into the fridge, let that set up. Once that's set up, I'm gonna put more butter around the edge and then cocoa powder. Where I went wrong last time was I put graham cracker crumb round the outside to get the s'mores effect. I think that might have been a bit sticky.
So last time I made a peanut butter chocolate fondant. The chocolate fondant bit was practically perfect. So I'm sticking to the same cake batter recipe, but I am putting the fondant onto a delicious salted caramel sauce topped with buttered peanuts. Some people go the extra mile double buttering their dairy milks because they're so nervous and so they're warriors of the world. I'm not bothering because I know this works.
The thing with the chocolate fondant is there is nowhere to hide.
Nope.
It either works or it doesn't.
Yep.
Now, it can work well and it can work excellently, but it also can go very, very wrong. That's what happens when you put cocoa powder into a fridge.
The moisture clings to it, so I just want to leave the door open for a little bit whilst they just rest. All right, thank you. Us chefs, we look out for each other.
Okay, while the beginnings of the curd come up to a boil, let's grease some moulds. Oh, there's a brush there. Thanks for the brush.
You're welcome.
I'm just showing the audience that you don't need a brush to do it.
It's true, you don't need a brush to do it. Both Jamie and Barry greased their moulds and then lined it with cocoa powder to stop it sticking. Obviously, you're not wanting cocoa powder in yours. Are you adding anything?
No, I'm not. I'm going to put those into the fridge. They're going to set up and I am going to double rub them. So, slightly different from the guys. And I have a couple of egg yolks in there and I'm using those egg whites in addition to my mixture. I'm actually using a lot more flour because what I want is a far more cakey consistency.
You don't want a gooey cake mixture in this. You want the goo to come from the curd, so you need all of your sponge to cook out, but your curd to remain contained.
Next up is my really simple cake batter. Sugar, 2 eggs, 2 egg yolks into a mixer. Whilst that's mixing up, getting loads of air into it, becoming pale and creamy in texture, I'm gonna microwave some butter and some chocolate in a microwave. It already feels a lot calmer in here than it did during that original battle. And I think that can only be a good thing, because maybe some of where we went wrong was in the distractions. And obviously we're far more grown up now. Oh, hang on a sec, mate. Catch. There you go.
It's warm. So, Jamie and Barry, you're both using the same method, but adding an extra element and twist. And I think that's one thing we've learned over the years. If you've got a foundation or a basic that works, once you've got those core skills, you can then twist and adapt it how you like. Just nail that foundation.
Oh! My curd's bubbling. I'm now going to slowly whisk it into eggs. And again, it's really hot. So if I don't do it slowly and I don't whisk it enough, it's going to scramble.
So the good thing with the curd is enough sugar in there that it won't scramble as such, but you still want to keep it moving a little bit.
So that gets warmed up again, and then it comes off the heat, and I put in butter a little bit at a time whilst continually stirring, and that's going to give it its silkiness.
How's it looking?
All in, look at that, lovely stuff. It needs to chill first in the fridge, so I'm going to pour it onto a plastic tray.
My problem is, when you failed at cooking something, the next time you go and cook it, you overthink everything massively. And I've not attempted a fondant since that last one, and so I'm bricking it, and I want to double check everything 5 times. Light, creamy, pale, it's everything it should be. But will it work?
Right, that is light and airy. And now the trick is here, don't get rid of that air, Barry. So chocolate going in. Oh, yes! In all honesty, there is just as much chance of this going wrong for me as it will everybody else. It does feel like there is an element of luck here, no matter how hard you try.
How airy is your mixture this time, Baz? Because last time you didn't bother whisking your eggs and sugar, really, did you?
I know, I don't know how it still worked. I'm just increasing my chances of it working perfectly this time.
Nice curd.
Yeah, not bad.
So you're taking your cooled curd and setting them in hemispheres and then freezing them?
Yes, because I think by poking these frozen into the middle of my cake batter will give me a much better oozy middle once they're baked.
Now I have my egg and sugar mixture, I'm going to fold through my chocolate mixture, trying to keep as much air in there as possible, and then fold in my flour.
You've gone very quiet, Jay.
I'm
I've never known you to be lost for words.
I'm still as nervous as I was before we started doing this. I don't think I've ever failed a recipe as hard as I failed that lava cake.
Agreed.
Turns out baking is a science.
It's cake time. Look at that. So it's time to add flour. I'm sieving to make sure it's nice and fine. I'm actually using a fair bit more flour, and I'm adding matcha powder to turn it green. The reason I'm adding more flour is because this is going to be a far more cakey mix. Fold this, make sure there's no pockets of flour or pockets of matcha. Gonna have to leave that there. Finished with some melted butter.
So it is a very, very different style of cake to the other two, who have the dark chocolate and the butter in equal quantity. Yours is more like a genoise, lots of air, fold in the flour and then finish with butter.
So now time to fill them. I want a big dollop at the beginning. So I've half filled all my Dario moulds. Now, as well as a beautiful oozy chocolatey filling, I'm also putting in some peanut butter. I did this last time, but it was a peanut butter that when cooked went extra rigid. So with this one, I've tried to find one that actually loosens as it heats up.
And again, the challenge here is to get that globule of peanut butter in the middle of the Dario mould so it doesn't sink to the bottom.
So I'm going to stick these in the fridge now, and then I can crack on with my salty caramel sauce and butter fried peanuts.
Cake batter done. I'm now going to half fill my moulds. And how do you get cake batter from a big bowl into a little bowl? I think you should use a piping bag.
Definitely neater, definitely less mess, more control.
Now for one of the things that I have learned in the last few years, if there is a cheat, most of the time, use it. I'm using pre-made marshmallow fluff, being very careful not to go down to the bottom and not to go to the sides.
So what I would say is sometimes it is worth the extra effort to make your own thing. If you're making homemade marshmallows, I think they're 10 times better than shop-bought marshmallows, but perhaps not in this application.
In my last battle, this is pretty much what it came down to because it was the marshmallow bit that screwed up the rest of it. A few chocolate chips on top, top it up with the cake batter, and now into the fridge to set up.
If these have put you in the mood for lava, then go and check out the other incredible recipes in our cookbooks. The app has the lot, it's completely free for an entire month and includes our hugely popular Meal Packs app and podcasts, so go and give them all a try.
So far so good, Jay.
We'll see.
But that's not the bit I'm testing you on.
No, I know. It's not the process.
Let's get the Dario moulds back out. Do one more coating of butter and my Darios. My green spongy mix goes into the moulds. Now I'm filling them pretty much to the top.
Good colour.
And then I'm going to push my now frozen curd down into the middle of them. If I push these too far down to the bottom, it's not going to work. I've got to get them properly central. Preheated tray. These aren't chilling. They're going straight into the oven at 200 degrees C for somewhere between 13 and 15 minutes. While they're in the oven, I'm going to knock up a quick raspberry coulis. Raspberries, icing sugar, zhuzhed up in a blender, run through a sieve, and then served at the table with raspberry ripple ice cream.
For my salted caramel, get some sugar in a pan, start melting it, and for my buttered peanuts, butter in the pan, get it melting, chuck in some peanuts. That's gone brown really quickly. Right, so I was told that the way to know that this is done or not, put your head over the caramel, and if your eyes start to burn, it's ready. It's not ready, my eyes aren't burning yet.
The beautiful thing about working with normals is they believe anything you tell them.
Once it's ready, it goes with your butter.
As always, a fine line between making sure you've got enough deep colour so that when you add in the cream, you've still got a nice caramel sauce and not something that's too insipid.
That's weird. We might be okay. I lost all faith because it was crystallising like salted caramel sauce. Sorry, just the caramel sauce. Here comes the salty bit. My sauce, my nuts are coming along nicely. Now I need to get my fondants into the oven for 15 minutes. Then only time will tell till I'm crowned winner again.
It looks holy and curdy at the bottom.
Okay, what I like is you've got great colour from the matcha. It has held that wonderful dariole shape. It's bouncy, which suggests it's a very good sponge. The question is whether we've got any goo in the middle. Shall I?
I can't see it.
I can't see it either.
There is
Nothing
no
to see.
molten to the molten lava.
There's nothing to see.
I think this is it on top though.
Oh, Mike! Oh no!
Right, I'm still going to enjoy the taste of it though because
Or tell you what, colours-wise,
Yeah.
unlike the chocolate fondants, I always feel it is very much a winter, autumnal, dark evening comforting. This is like something a bit more summery, a bit more fresh. I mean, it's very yummy.
That is so disappointing. At the end of the day, Ebbers, this is called a lava cake, and the lava comes out the top and then runs down the side.
It's delicious. I think you know you're not going to win unless
yeah.
the other two are even more terrible. Because what I liked was the shape of the dariole mould. It looked inviting. Baz, you're up next. Okay, Baz, you're going to flip yours out and garnish it.
No. Okay.
You've got a sunken botty.
No,
No, Barry, there's too much weight, Barry. Barry, it's too heavy.
Service, please.
Cut into it. Quickly, cut it. Cut it, Ben. Cut it.
This is the magic molten lava cake. It cuts itself.
You need to cut it. It's
Oh, it's a bit of a shame, isn't it? Well, let's have a look.
ooh.
Very smooth, very light. Like the sponge on the outside is really light and airy. The choice of smooth peanut butter means the whole thing just becomes gorgeous in the middle. There's a risk with something like this that it's too sweet, too sickly, too much, and it is supposed to be indulgent and delicious, but actually the salt in the caramel sauce and the sour cream really pulls it together. The only thing I'd have wanted was just a bit more structure. Not as much as Mike's, but somewhere in the middle. But it's yummy.
Should we move on?
Your turn, Jay.
How did you? Because this is still...
Put it upside down and then flip it round, right?
Right, so that way and then...
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a sandcastle.
Alakazam, come out of here as well as you can. Okay. You go there. Right, let's turn this into a pudding. Ice cream on the top. A couple more on the top.
He made it a sandcastle.
Fire.
Okay, so now it's
Fire.
small.
Now it's a small. And then just, I think...
Stop! Jay, stop! Stop!
It was.
You're doing so well.
You had to snap it.
He loves a flake.
Couldn't not.
It's got to bounce a bit.
Oh!
Shall we?
That's a lava cake.
So it has absolutely got that goo in the middle.
Tastes horrible, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks
Too sweet.
Probably too sweet.
Far too sweet.
Ugh.
It is very, very sweet, but with rich, dark chocolate, it works. Which is a shame, because I liked puddle cake. The only flavour I'm a little bit sad you took out was the cinnamon, from the cinnamon ice cream, so I think the cinnamon with chocolate. But as an execution of a molten lava cake, that is today's winner.
Just to clarify, I came in third, right?
I mean, it wasn't very molten, was it?
No. Well, it's over to you guys. We don't need to know who won, but if you like us revisiting these fails, then give the video a like and send us your thoughts in the comments below.
And if you want to see us do more of these, then head to Twitter and tweet us at Sorted Food with the hashtag #FailsSorted and let us know which other fails from our back catalogue we should try and recreate. Maybe we'll get really, really good at them, and maybe we'll win a battle when we lost hideously the last time. Well, I mean, wouldn't that just be like the best, like an origin story? Like, just think about it like X-Men or something like that.
Which one would you be?
Wolverine.
What's the opposite to Ant-Man? Slugman. Slugman. You'd be Slugman.